depending upon the individual, nutrient supplementation, maybe oxygen therapies can be very dilutive in that case. We can almost always turn that whole thing around for people. Yes?
What role do supplements play in the prevention or the reversal of cancer?
91% of the supplements on the market will give you cancer. Okay, I'll repeat it. 91% of the supplements on the market will give you cancer. It's very authentically and scientifically reported in my latest book, Supplements Exposed. I have some of those here tonight. I'll sign them after this. That was actually my 4 decades of looking at it, finally getting serious about it 3 years ago and putting it down on paper. I stand shoulder to shoulder with Nobel laureates, McGill University, Oxford University, Cambridge University, Harvard University, Stanford University, UCLA, because there are legitimate studies that come out and tell you how bad supplements are from those universities. The problem is that 98% of the studies on supplements are conducted by the companies that make them. 80% are the pharmaceutical industry. So listen to what I've just said. 80% of the supplements on the planet today are made by the very pharmaceutical industry that most of you have a little distaste for. Now, with that said, you do need supplements. And people need supplements today more than they ever have in human history because of the stress and pollution and on it goes. With that said, you have to be very selective. They have to be whole food supplements. We don't have time to show that tonight, but I have a slide in here, 30 hours of slides, and basically it shows you. Here's an electromagnetic photograph of a living whole food supplement. It looks like the sun, and here's the 91%. It looks like it's dead. I mean, if you just look at that, you get it instantaneously. And the body really doesn't work the way that allopathic medicine tells you it does on a physiological basis with quantitative and qualitative matter base. It works on an electromagnetic frequency level. So if food does not have life in it, the human cell does not gain the true and complete benefit it should from it, and the same with the supplement. A supplement should literally be, at best, the extract from a whole food that's still alive. Every supplement that we make, every supplement that's good out there today, that's what it's about. And it's hard to change the paradigm because, boy, it's a whole lot cheaper to make chemical supplements. They're almost all made out of oil, so you know that. So yes, supplements, and yes, prevention. Antioxidants. 97% of antioxidants in the market will give you cancer. They're deadly chemicals. Are there good antioxidants? Yeah, tons of them. But food is number one. Okay, anyone else? Yes.
Hi, Brian. I just wanted to thank you for all the work you do. I'm a huge fan of yourself and as well as other raw food gurus such as David Wolfe, Daniel Vitalis, Gabriel Cousins, to name a few. I just wondered, you being in Florida, how do you actually legally do what you do? Because, I mean, pretty much everyone in this room knows that it's illegal to treat cancer with anything but burning, poison, and cutting. So, I mean, that's the first part of the question, and if you could just answer that, that would be great.
Well, it's pretty simple. If people still are in the old paradigm where they think they're treating people, that's why they get in trouble. We don't treat people. We educate people. When people come to Hippocrates, our full and whole objective is to get you to a place where you don't need us anymore even. And that's honest health care. That's really the health care of the future. And so educate, 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 empower. Now when people graduate forever, we counsel them. As long as they're constantly responsible and constantly send their scans and blood tests back as we tell them to do, and it's free forever, we hold their hand doing that. And so that's literally ethically how we feel about it. No, we don't heal people, they heal themselves. And that's how we can do legitimate health care.
Okay, great. The second part of the question was basically, I'm a huge fan of natural spring water. And I just wondered, I know you're a fan of distilled water and you're living proof that you are not dehydrated and you're not demineralized. Do you think you're actually getting most of your minerals and your hydration from the food you're eating? And also just wanted your thought that in nature, H2O, pure and simple, just doesn't exist. So I mean, I just wondered your thoughts on that.
Well, number one, minerals in mineral water are not digestible. They're called non-organic minerals. But they are great for hardening of the arteries and stones in your kidneys and bladder and that type of thing. Gallstones, they really help with all of that. So if you want any of those, mineral water is a good thing. Our ancestors were not romantically kneeling next to springs and streams because they realized some goat was pooping a mile up the road. What they were doing, as they do in more primitive places in the world today, and even my father-in-law in Sweden, he's just a rustic kind of guy, they collect rainwater. And rainwater, before humans started to pollute it, is hydrogen and oxygen. It's distilled water. How we learn to make distilled water is watch rain. Now, grant you, we have chemicals in that atmosphere today too, but when rain comes down, it's hydrogen and oxygen. 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. That's what distilled water is. And so that's what we think. Now, the Japanese have figured out ways to make it like it's in a stream and going through circular motions and geometric changes and vortexes and all of these fancy New Age type of terminologies, and getting it down to a distilled level and charging the water, putting more electromagnetic friction and frequency on it. That's what organized molecular water is. And that's another really good option, and probably even a superior option to that. So that's what we serve at Hippocrates. But anyone else in, yes?
I know we're talking about cancer and everything today, but I'm 17. I've had a heart disease since before I was even born. Before I had dental work done or anything surgical like that, they told me I had to take antibiotics. Is there anything a raw food diet could do that would help my heart disease? I think it's mitral valve prolapse. My valve flutters, it doesn't close properly.
Yeah. You probably had a mineral deficiency in your mother when you were in the womb. So as a young person coming out at that stage, you produce so many exceptional enzymes until you're about 20, 21 years old. You probably didn't gain it on your own. See, I don't know if your mother was drinking or if your mother was doing something else at the time. That's a common malady that we see. Long-term magnesium deficiencies. Now with that said, there is about a 50-50 chance whether or not you can get that thing to function again. And we would be using electromagnetic frequency and high amounts of digestible minerals in their organic state. And from doing that and eating foods like raw almonds, which are just riddled with magnesium, you're going to be able to see in a relatively short period of time. But it's not just food. When you have a valve that's fluttering like this, you have to sort of slap it to wake it up. And so you have to hit it a little electromagnetically, not shock it, but hit it electromagnetically to give more electromagnetic energy into the electrolytes of the cells, the red blood cells that develop that valve itself.
Okay. Because I have an appointment on Thursday to go and check and see how everything's going. I have to go every 5 years. So say I start doing all those things as of like tonight, and start that after 5 years when I go back for my next appointment. Would it be possible to see improvement?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
You're going to feel a difference. I'm sure that when you run or you get excited, you probably feel something a little off, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you'll feel much sooner than that. If this is going to work, half the time it does. Within 6 months, you'll know radically it'll be a difference. And your age is in your advantage. If you were sitting here saying, I'm 47 years old, you know, the chances may be 20% versus 50, 60% now. Anyone else in that row? Over here? The row in front of that? Okay. The row in front of that? Yes.
Question about B12.
Yes.
Is it necessary?
Absolutely. I've studied meat eaters, dairy eaters, vegans, vegetarians. More than 2/3 of the population lack B12 now. And why they lack B12 is quite simple. That our anatomy has radically changed. Our large intestine no longer has a little pocket underneath the ileocecal valve where the digested food comes down. It used to come down into this pocket and culture itself, ferment there. And B12 is literally a soil-based microorganism, a bacteria, that used to be there and have. Now that little pocket is gone. And I found this because I was pulling my hair out trying to figure out why people had B12 deficiencies.